What if your body has been decoding ancient symbols all along without you even knowing? Recent discoveries in neuroscience reveal that one specific nerve might be the biological bridge to what Carl Jung called the collective unconscious. And the most shocking part? You can activate it. And if you think this is just esoteric talk, wait until you see the scientific evidence. Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover might change the way you understand your body, your mind, and the universe itself. You will be surprised. Carl Jung believed we're all connected to a vast, invisible network of symbols, myths, and memories, something he called the collective unconscious. But here's the twist no one expected. Neuroscience may have just found the physical highway that links your nervous system to this ancient psychic network. And it's not in your brain, it's in your chest. More precisely, in a single nerve that runs through your entire body, the vagus nerve. This nerve doesn't just calm you down. It might be the missing link between your body and the soul of humanity. Yes, science and spirituality might be converging in a place no one thought to look. And if you stay with me until the end of this video, you'll understand why breathwork, intuition, and even your dreams might be biologically wired to something much, much bigger than you. The final revelation? It will surprise you, because it reveals not just how your body works, but why you feel the way you do. And it might just awaken a power inside you that's been waiting to be remembered.
Okay, let's unpack this. What if there's this invisible current, something flowing through all of us, connecting every mind, every culture, every era?
Like a place of universal wisdom, but not out there somewhere.
Exactly, deep inside. And imagine if tapping into that space could actually profoundly transform your life.
It's a huge idea.
It is. And today, we're doing a deep dive into a stack of sources that explore precisely this. We're guided by the groundbreaking work of Carl Gustav Jung, the legendary explorer of the human psyche.
Right. We've got articles, research, looking into concepts like the collective unconscious, these things called archetypes.
And they draw this really surprising line I found to modern science, specifically through the vagus nerve.
Yeah, that connection is fascinating.
So our mission here, to cut through the maybe complexity, extract the absolute core nuggets of knowledge from all this material.
And see how these, powerful ideas might offer a kind of shortcut to understanding ourselves and maybe the world around us too.
It's a journey, really, into what Jung famously called the memory of humanity, isn't it?
It is. Exploring those universal patterns, he identified archetypes. He saw them as like keys to the soul.
Keys to the soul, I like that. And we'll uncover how this single crucial nerve in your body seems to act as a physical link, a bridge to this inner realm.
And then look at some simple, accessible practices, things drawn from the sources that might help you unlock its wisdom.
What's really striking is how these deep, psychological, even spiritual concepts are finding echoes, maybe even mechanisms, in modern biology.
It grounds it somehow, doesn't it?
It does. So let's dive straight into that shared internal landscape, that collective unconscious.
Okay, so think about those dreams you've had sometimes, the ones that feel different.
Yeah, not just like replaying your day.
Exactly. Something with this ancient resonance almost, leaving you with a feeling of profound meaning, maybe.
Or those moments of synchronicity, where seemingly unrelated events just align perfectly, so meaningful it feels orchestrated.
Like the universe is maybe giving you a nudge.
Right. According to the sources we have here and the Jungian work they build on, these aren't just random glitches.
No. They're often seen as whispers from what he called the collective unconscious.
Can you unpack that a bit? The collective unconscious?
Sure. Jung defined it as this deep, really expansive reservoir of human experience and wisdom. It's shared by everyone. It's distinct from your own personal stuff, your memories.
So it's bigger than just me and my life.
Much bigger. It's where the myths, the fundamental patterns, the truths that have shaped human consciousness across all time, where they're held.
Wow, that's a powerful concept. One article we looked at used analogies like a cosmic library, holding the records of humanity's psyche.
Or an invisible river flowing beneath our individual minds, connecting us all. Another even hinted at it being like a unified field of consciousness.
A unified field. And this is where we see those universal symbols emerging, right? Across totally different cultures and time.
Exactly. Things like the serpent, often meaning transformation, or the wise old figure offering guidance.
The journey motif.
Yeah.
That's in countless stories.
Countless. Or the comforting mother figure. The perfect symmetry of the circle, the mandala, these pop up everywhere.
There was a really compelling example in the sources, Jung's own story about a patient.
Ah, yes. The European man, quite sophisticated, apparently had zero knowledge of West African folklore.
Right. And he has this vivid dream about a spider trickster figure.
That was eerily similar to Anansia, the West African trickster spider.
And Jung saw that as powerful evidence, didn't he, for a shared psychic field beyond just personal experience.
He really did. And if you step back, it's interesting. This idea resonates, in a way, with some concepts in modern physics.
Like quantum entanglement, non-locality.
Exactly. Those ideas hint at this fundamental interconnectedness, suggesting that reality, maybe even consciousness itself, might not be as separate or localized as we tend to think.
Jung himself wrote something along those lines, didn't he? About the psyche connecting the individual to the cosmos.
Yes, that the psyche is not merely personal, but a phenomenon that connects the individual to the cosmos. It's a profound statement.
It really makes you think. Have you listening ever had a dream image or a really strong intuition? Maybe encountered a symbol that just felt deeply significant, almost, well, universal.
That might just be it. The collective unconscious reaching out, offering a little piece of that vast shared wisdom.
Okay, so if that's the deep ocean, the collective unconscious, what emerges from it?
Ah, that's where the archetypes come in, what Jung called the archetypes.
If the collective unconscious is the library.
Then the archetypes are like the universal stories, the core characters found inside that library.
And they're not just abstract ideas, are they? The sources really emphasize these are like living forces.
Absolutely. Actively shaping our lives, the stories we tell ourselves, even our inner struggles. They're like psychic blueprints or internal maps.
Patterns of behavior, images, symbols that just sort of arise spontaneously.
Precisely, and they show up constantly. In myths, obviously, but also in our dreams, the stories we love.
And even in our own lives. The roles we play, the challenges we face.
Definitely. The sources list some of the big ones, the most prominent archetypes.
Like the hero, that call to face challenges, overcome obstacles.
Right, think Luke Skywalker setting out or Hercules battling monsters, that energy.
Then there's the mother archetype, nurturing, protection, creative abundance.
Often showing up as a comforting presence in dreams or visions, like Virgin Mary or the ancient idea of Gaia, Mother Earth.
You also have the wise old man or the sage.
Yeah.
The embodiment of wisdom, guidance.
The Gandalf figure, you know, or that advisor who just appears in a dream when you need help.
And we can't forget the shadow. That's a big one in Jung.
Huge. Representing all the parts of ourselves we kind of push down, repress, fears, instincts, the less acceptable traits.
But they hold vital energy, right?
Yeah.
They need integration.
Exactly. And the trickster. The one who challenges rules, breaks things open, brings change, like that Anansi figure.
Jung described them beautifully, didn't he? Like invisible rivers running beneath the surface of our psyche.
Yeah, and he also called them instinctive forms of behavior that manifest when we're attuned to our psyche.
The material we looked at had some really great anecdotes, real-life examples.
They really bring it to life. Like Anna, who kept dreaming of this wise old man giving cryptic advice.
And it didn't click until she started meditating on it, and then, bam, a major personal breakthrough.
Exactly. Or Lucas, struggling with his career, has this intense meditation vision, a knight fighting a dragon.
Which he instantly recognized as the hero archetype, pushing him to face a big challenge at work.
Then there was Maria, the therapist. She mentions several grieving patients, totally independently, reported seeing a comforting maternal figure in their dreams or during writing exercises.
Wow. The mother archetype providing solace.
Seems like it. And João, the teacher hitting creative burnout. He dreams of a knight battling a storm.
Another powerful hero image, which inspired him to tackle his creative block and find new passion.
It's amazing how these patterns play out.
It really makes you reflect. What resonates with you listening?
Now, let me challenge you with something. If you've ever had a dream, a gut feeling, or a strange emotion you couldn't explain, I want you to comment just one word: resonance.
Looking at your own life, your dreams, the challenges you're facing, does one of these archetypes feel particularly active right now?
Thinking about it this way really does feel like getting keys, doesn't it? Keys to unlock deeper layers of your own experience.
Absolutely. Which leads to the big question. If these are universal patterns, how do we actually, consciously access their wisdom? How do we listen to those whispers from the collective unconscious?
Yes. And this is where the material brings in that fascinating connection we mentioned earlier, blending the Jungian psychology with modern understanding of the body.
The vagus nerve.
The vagus nerve,
Yeah, yeah.
the 10th cranial nerve, often called the wanderer.
It's the longest cranial nerve, right?
Yeah.
It goes all the way from the brainstem down.
Through the neck, chest, abdomen, connecting to the throat, heart, lungs, gut, all those vital organs.
Physiologically, it's obviously key for regulating stuff like breathing, heart rate, digestion.
Yeah.
Involuntary things.
Right, but the sources we looked at, they go deeper. They describe it not just as biological wiring, but as a kind of vibrational channel.
A sacred channel.
A physical bridge between our conscious mind, our body's state, and potentially these deeper realms of consciousness.
And the crucial insight is how it does this. When it's activated, especially its parasympathetic branch, the calming part.
It shifts your nervous system into that rest and digest state.
Exactly, which calms the body down, quiets the mental chatter, and creates the state of like receptive stillness.
And that state, that receptive stillness, according to the sources, that's the key. Jung himself observed that archetypes and the collective unconscious tend to manifest most clearly when the conscious mind is relaxed and open.
Like in dreams or active imagination or deep meditation.
So the vagus nerve activation seems to be the physiological mechanism that helps create those very states.
Precisely. And there's science mentioned in the research to back this up. Stimulating the vagus nerve through things like slow, deep breathing or even humming or chanting.
That's been shown to increase oxytocin, right? The connection hormone.
Yeah, the love hormone. And it decreases cortisol, the main stress hormone.
So that biochemical shift promotes safety, connection, openness, ideal conditions for accessing those subtler inner experiences.
And the anecdotes really reinforce this link. Remember Anna and her wise old man dream?
She didn't just have the dream. She used deep breathing, a known vagus activator, to get further insights connected to it.
Right. And Sophia, struggling with anxiety, she found yoga and pranayama specific breathing techniques that work directly on the vagus nerve.
And that led to a vision of the mother archetype, which helped ease her anxiety and boosted her creativity.
Seems so. And Pedro, needing guidance, he used a sound bath during meditation.
Sound baths. The vibrations stimulate the vagus nerve too.
Exactly. And he experienced a vision of the wise old man archetype giving him clear direction.
It makes you think. Have you ever noticed how just calming your body down, taking deep breaths, maybe spending quiet time in nature, finding stillness seems to open up space for insights or intuition, or just a deeper sense of peace?
That feeling, that's very likely the vagus nerve acting as that physical bridge, connecting your inner state to something, well, something vaster.
Okay, so we get the collective unconscious, the archetypes.
Yeah.
And we have a sense of the physical bridge, the vagus nerve. So the natural next question is, how do we intentionally use this connection? How do we make it work for us?
Exactly. And the sources really emphasize that accessing this inner wisdom isn't some, complicated esoteric thing.
It's practical, grounded.
Very. Often relying on really simple practices that work by influencing our physiological state, mainly through that vagus nerve connection. And consistency of material notes is way more important than intensity.
Right, small, regular steps. So let's look at some of the actual methods highlighted. What can people do?
Okay, first up, diaphragmatic breathing. One article called it a ritual of calm.
Belly breathing, basically.
Essentially, yes. Find a quiet spot, sit comfortably, maybe put your hands on your abdomen so you can feel it. Inhale slowly through your nose, maybe count to 4, really focusing on your belly expanding as the diaphragm pulls air down.
Hold for a couple of counts.
Hold for maybe 2, then exhale slowly through your mouth, maybe counting to 6 or even longer. Just do this for, say, 5 minutes.
And the why is the direct vagus link.
Yep. The diaphragm's movement stimulates vagal receptors, sending safety signals to the brain, reduces stress, clears the mental fog, makes you more receptive.
You could even do it with intention, right? Invite an archetype.
Absolutely. Silently ask for the hero's strength or the sage's clarity while you breathe.
Okay, what's next?
Guided meditation, framed as a door to the collective unconscious.
So setting aside maybe 10 minutes, quiet time.
10 minutes is great. Close your eyes, settle in using that diaphragmatic breathing, then visualize a safe, peaceful space inside yourself.
And from that space.
You can invite a specific archetype to appear. Maybe the mother for comfort, or the trickster if you need a fresh perspective. Simply ask, what message do you have for me?
And then just observe, without judgment.
Exactly. Note any images, sensations, thoughts that arise, gently. This practice, especially with the breathing, helps induce those theta brainwaves.
Associated with deep relaxation visualization, where archetypes often pop up.
Right. And the sources suggest keeping a journal handy. Jot down insights right after.
Makes sense. Capturing it before it fades. What else?
Dream writing. called a direct channel.
So keeping a notebook by the bed.
Yep, notebook and pen right there. The moment you wake up before the conscious mind really kicks in and starts filtering things.
Write down everything you remember, even fragments.
Everything. Fragments, colors, feelings, weird symbols. Pay attention to recurring things. Is that serpent back? Is there an old figure offering advice again?
Because dreams happen in that state of natural vagus activation and less conscious control.
Making them prime time for the collective unconscious to communicate. The symbols are often echoes of archetypes. Reflecting on them, how they relate to your waking life, that can reveal so much.
Okay, breathing, meditation, dreams, what else?
Mantras and sounds. Described as the vibration of the soul. This has a really potent physical effect.
Through the vocal cords.
Yes, vocal vibrations, especially deep sounds or sustained tones, are powerful vagus nerve stimulators. Simply chanting Om, or maybe calmly repeating a meaningful affirmation for 5 minutes.
Doesn't have to be a formal setting. Could be in the shower.
Totally. Or just sitting quietly, it creates this state of deep relaxation and resonance. The repetition helps quiet the analytical mind.
And sounds like Om might even connect to archetypes, like unity.
Exactly. Focus on the feeling, the internal vibration. That deepens it.
One more.
Connection with nature, referred to as the sacred silence.
Just being outside, mindfully.
Pretty much. Dedicate 10 minutes. Be fully present. Walk barefoot if you can. Sit under a tree. Just listen to the wind, the birds. No distractions.
Close your eyes. Feel the rhythm.
Being in nature like that significantly calms the nervous system, activates the vagus nerve by reducing external noise and fostering the sense of safety, of vastness.
Create space for the collective unconscious to surface, maybe feeling that Earth Mother connection.
Or just deep peace, allowing creativity to flow. Remember Clara, the artist mentioned,
who broke her creative block by walking barefoot in the park, felt reconnected to her inner creator archetype.
That's the one.
And Joie's story really ties these together, doesn't it? The teacher with burnout.
Beautifully. He didn't just think about it. He started the daily breathing. He did the dream writing, noticed the hero night fighting the storm.
Added guided meditations, actively inviting that night figure.
And these practices calmed his system through the vagus nerve, opening the door for that hero archetype to lend him courage, inspiration.
And the result wasn't just mental. It was real transformation. His teaching got vibrant again, creative projects took off.
It really shows how consciously engaging with these simple practices can literally change your state, allowing that archetypal wisdom accessed through the mind-body vagus link to guide you.
It really prompts the question for anyone listening. Which of these simple steps feels most, accessible or intriguing to you right now?
What small step could you maybe take today just to create a little space, to listen for the voice of your own soul?
We've certainly journeyed deep today, explored that vast ocean, the collective unconscious,
uncovered those universal patterns, the archetypes living there,
and discovered the surprising role of the vagus nerve, that physical bridge connecting our body and mind to this inner wellspring of wisdom.
Yeah, the core message from all this material is actually incredibly empowering, I think.
How so?
That the keys to profound insight, creativity, personal transformation, they aren't hidden away somewhere else.
They're within us.
Right here, accessible through conscious, simple practices that integrate the mind, the body, and that crucial vagus nerve pathway.
It reminds me of that Jung quote.
Yes.
Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakens.
A perfect summary.
So as you listening move through your day, maybe facing challenges or looking for inspiration, consider this. What quiet whispers, what recurring images, what moments of strong intuition might be messages from that deeper shared wisdom waiting just beneath the surface.
What new connection are you ready to explore next?
So now you know there's a hidden thread connecting your breath, your dreams, your emotions to a universal field of meaning. Not just theory, not just myth, but a living experience you can access through simple, conscious acts. So let me ask you something. Have you ever felt a pattern in your life repeating, almost like a story you didn't write but keep living? Have you ever had a dream that felt more real than waking life, or a quiet voice guiding you, even if you didn't understand it? What if that wasn't just your mind? What if it was the collective unconscious reaching out to you through the rhythms of your own body? And now, what are you going to do with that? If even one small part of this resonated with you, try one of the practices we shared, just one, and listen, not with your ears, but with your breath, your body, your soul. Because awakening doesn't come from answers, it comes from the right questions and one small step inward. Before you go, there are 2 more videos on the screen right now. Each one will take you deeper into this journey. Pick one, click, and keep going. Because something inside you is remembering, and this is only the beginning.